on the way.
Boogeyman band coming round the bend. Is Boogeyman band. Is Boogeyman band.
Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends, and thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone channel. It's your buddy Boogeyman Ben. Wanted to do this video, and it wasn't one that I was really planning to do. But over the course of the last couple of months, it's been sort of a subject that's been on my mind, and what inspired me to, sit down and turn the camera on today was a conversation I had with a good friend of mine, my friend John Russell. John and I initially met back in 2015 at a premiere of Digging Up the Marrow, Adam Green's movie. And that was a blast. And he and I kind of kept in contact over the years, and we've seen each other, a couple times at conventions. But he really sort of helped me during a really trying time in my life, and that was back in 2021 when I was going through a really bad depression. He sort of talked me into going to this Munster Go Home screening, and Butch Patrick was there, who played Eddie Munster on that infamous show and in the movie, and it was a really great night. And we've caught up with each other a couple times. One was at Sinister Creature Con last year, the Sinister Halloween Con, and then again recently this past September at Halloween 45 down in Pasadena. And primarily what the subject of this video is horror conventions and conventions in general. And John and I had talked about possibly going to the CreepyCon, which is in Ontario, California. It usually happens in February of every year. There's a pretty big lineup going on for this coming years in 2024. They're going to have like good portion of the Sons of Anarchy cast, the Scream cast. It's going to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so there's going to be several members from that film. And we had talked about buying weekend passes, staying in Ontario, driving down and everything. And I just haven't been feeling it. And today, he and I were texting, and I just said, you know what? I think I don't want to go. And I don't know what it's been. I've been going to horror cons. The first horror con I went to was back in 2010. Almost 14 years of going to these things. And there's some great memories and some great times, and got to meet a lot of people that I grew up idolizing. But for some reason, after Halloween 45, I just sort of got to this point where I don't know if I'm just over the convention scene. I don't like what it's really become, and I felt bad telling John that I didn't want to go, but he was totally cool about it. I don't know if he's going to end up going, but I felt bad because we've kind of been talking about it, but I got to be honest, I don't want to put my money into that right now. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to go to horror conventions ever again. I am planning to go to the one this summer, Sinister Creature Con, in June. That will be the one that I usually go to. But there was one this past October that I skipped, and a lot of the reasons why I skipped it had to do with the Halloween 45 convention. And it wasn't a bad convention. I had a great time, and I got to meet some amazing people and run into some great people, some friends, like my friend Scotty I got to meet, and I got to meet my friend Sammy. And then, of course, I saw Chris and John there. And I got to meet the three people I really wanted to meet, and I also got to meet Christopher Nelson, the other half of Thing with Two Heads podcast with Sean Clark. But I got to meet Stacey Nelkin from Halloween 3. I got to meet Anthony Michael Hall, which was the big one for me. And then, of course, Dick Warlock, who was the other big one for me. Michael Myers from Halloween 2. It was all fun and everything, but I don't know what it is. I feel like I've just burned out on them. I still have a number of horror celebrities I want to meet. I have my bucket list. I was talking to John about it today, and I was saying, Tony Todd, he's one that I really want to meet. Brad Dourif, I would love to meet. Brink Stevens, I would love to meet. Bonnie Bedelia, if she ever did a con. I don't know if she ever would. If I could meet David Soul, that would be great. There's a lot of great. Barbara Crampton's another big one. And those are the ones it's like if they were ever at a con, I'm there. But I don't need to meet the Scream cast. I appreciate those films. I love the Scream films, but I don't need to meet those actors. What's the point of spending this money? And, everything's getting more expensive, autographs and pictures and everything. To meet Anthony Michael Hall cost me $80. And it was a huge deal for me. And not to say anything about him because he was awesome. Grateful that I met him. It was a huge thing for me, but I think I wanted to connect with him, and I didn't. I don't feel like I did, and that's fine. I'm sure that there's a lot of people that feel like that when they meet somebody that they've idolized for a long time. They want to connect with that person and have a rapport, and I just didn't feel like I had that. And he had a lot going on. He had his family there, and I understand, but it's bittersweet for me. I'm glad I met him, but I don't know. I wanted to sort of, tell him how much, everything he did meant to me. And I don't feel like I did it very well. So it's kind of stayed with me, and that's kind of what soured me a little bit on going to another convention a few weeks after with the Sinister Halloween convention that they had in October, and I didn't go to it. And I don't know, just like I feel like I've hit the peak of my convention going. I feel like I've seen enough of them, done enough of them. It's like I love everything I have, and I'm really much more selective about what I buy now, and I think I'm just gonna end up doing that with my convention going and who I meet. It's more important for me to save for something for like do things around my house, projects that I want to do. That's more important to me now, and I just wonder if anybody else is feeling the same thing about conventions. I know they're huge. I know that a lot of people go to them. I mean, the Halloween 45 was huge. It was the biggest con I'd ever been to. And next to Kirk Van Hammett's Fear Fest of Evil, that was like the other big horror convention I went to, and that was back in 2014. But this was like the biggest one I ever have gone to. But I don't know if I'm ever going to go to one that's out of not close to where I live. It just was, we went down for one day, and it was a long drive, and we should have stayed in Pasadena. That was my fault. So maybe that could have also soured my experience, but I've been really low about it, and I just thought I would get on here and talk about it. And just like I said, my conversation with John today just sort of prompted me to want to do this. So it's really raw that I'm talking about this stuff, but I'm curious what other people think. If anybody else has had an experience at a con that maybe sort of have not left a bad taste in your mouth, but maybe felt like, hey, I don't know if I want to go to these as much as I used to, or, I'm just curious about what other people think about like conventions, horror conventions. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm never going to go to one again, but I don't think I'm going to go to as many as I used to. Outside of like, Sinister Creature Con, it'll probably be the only one I ever go to going forward. I don't feel like going to other ones in different cities or different areas. I just feel like if it's, unless it's like somebody I absolutely have to meet that's from my bucket list, remaining list of people that I really want to meet, that like I went over earlier, like Tony Todd or Bonnie Bedelia or Brink Stevens or Barbara Crampton. But just thought I'd get on here and talk about it. I want to thank everyone for all of the wonderful messages on my last couple of videos, the one on the Silent Night Deadly Night series, and of course showcasing all of the awesome things I got for Christmas. I am going to be responding to everybody, and I do have a year-end video that I'm working on that we'll be posting on New Year's Eve. So we got 2024 here very, very soon, and I want to thank everyone for all of their support, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Hey, my fellow Fright Fiends, I just want to thank everyone for supporting Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone. If you haven't yet subscribed and you'd like to, please hit the subscribe button down below. Click the bell notification so you're updated every time I drop a new video. I try to drop a video at least once or twice a week. The Horror Zone is a passion of mine, and it really makes me happy that I can share that passion with all of you guys. Thanks so much again for the support, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always.